about movement of commodities and sort of set the stage for what's at stake in NAFTA and some of the negotiating dynamics. In panel 2, we're going to look a little bit more at the impact on specific products and in those sectors that are dealing more at the retail level and what issues they see as both challenges and opportunities in a renegotiated NAFTA. I did get a question in between panels in the last comments that Joe Glauber mentioned preparations for MC11. And for those of you who don't speak trade or think about it all the time, MC11 is the 11th Ministerial Conference of the WTO, which will happen in December. And in trade and government negotiating time, that's like 5 minutes from now. So I think it is interesting that we haven't seen very much about what's on tap for that conference. So anyway, back to our second panel. I'd like to start with Tom Stenzel, who is the President and CEO of United Fresh Produce Association. And Tom occupies an interesting space in that produce is both, on the one hand, a commodity and working with groups of farmers. On the other hand, it's often branded and sold directly as fresh product on the grocery store shelf. And so United Fresh and other produce associations sort of have to straddle that line between being both producers and retailers. And so with that in mind, maybe you can share what you think are some of the challenges and opportunities of NAFTA. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Darcy, and thank you, Carolyn, for hosting us, and thank you to Weta for the invitation. You need to turn that on.
So are you on?
Okay, now we're on. I said thank you to everybody. So as I sit here and start this transition from strictly commodity agriculture into retail agriculture in the food and beverage sectors, I'm struck by the diversity that we really experience in the fruit and vegetable trade. So within agriculture, there's tremendous diversity already. But within our sector, we really are a group of different commodities. So strawberries are affected differently from grapefruit, and they're affected differently from avocados. So for the broad fruit and vegetable industry, we have to retreat a little bit from just looking at individual commodity issues and go back to what are principles of free trade. Tariff-free, quota-free trade enhances opportunity for everyone in our sector with goods moving in multiple directions. But that does create some stress because if you just focus strictly on deficits and movement of goods, there are going to be some commodities that have deficits in one direction and others back in the opposite. So we have to try to broaden across all of those different issues. Something that Joe said in the first panel that we also think a lot